G'day everyone, my name is Zach and welcome... What the fuck?
Not quite sure what happened there, but g'day everyone, my name is Zach and welcome back to this week's hobby highlights and headlines. In today's video, I've got a couple of fun little projects and one massive thing that we're going to be working on for probably the rest of this year. So let's jump straight into it. This week, unfortunately, I wasn't able to get up to much of the hobbying that I wanted to. We had a few friends over quite a few nights in a row, and I took a night off to go and take Z out for dinner. So unfortunately, we weren't able to do much hobbying. But I did print a couple of really cool minis and purchased maybe the biggest army, like a single purchase of an army I've ever made, which I'll talk about in a sec. I want to do a little bit more work on my Deep Sea Death Guard army, so I ended up printing up a couple more minis. There's this Deep Shroud Terminator and Lord of the Tide, I do believe they're called. I'm not 100% sure of the names, but I'll obviously show you some photos here. I'm really impressed with these models. Like, I love just everything about them. I'm going to be painting one of the Deep Shroud Terminators in one of my viewers and good friends' color schemes, Sly. They reached out and were like, here, this is my paint scheme, and they're starting out in the hobby and they want to see sort of what I can do with it and sort of little tips and everything that I have for them. So I'll definitely be doing that hopefully next week, fingers crossed, because their scheme that they do is slightly different to mine, and I figured that I could just make that model that I paint in that scheme kind of the leader of the Terminators. And the Lord of the Tide, pretty cool. The base on it I absolutely love. I'm going to be doing some really cool ocean effects on it. Bit of sand, some UV resin, get that nice like ocean water look, and yeah, I'm super excited for that. Other than that, not much hobbying this week, but there is an absolute metric shitload of headlines and releases that I want to talk about. I did for some reason put this in the headlines, but I bought a Chaos Army. I know not a lot of people will watch this video, so you guys are about to get a sneak peek of basically everything that is in the box, or kind of everything that I've bought. But long story short, I bought 3,000 and 3,500 points worth of Warriors of Chaos for the old world, and I'm so excited to get into that, because for those who don't know, Warriors of Chaos was the first army that I ever had when I got in the hobby. I still remember going down to my local toy shop, and the guy there had a bunch of just old Warhammer, because when he bought the shop, it more or less was just stock that was left over, because Games Workshop used to license it to all the different toy shops and things. And in that was a bunch of the High Elves. I'll see if I can find some photos of the old things. I know I have photos of my old Chaos Knights, which I'll put here now. But I'm also had that painting starter kit that had like the Sea Elf, or the High Elf Sea Guard, I think they were called, the Leviathan Sea Guard, possibly. And I remember trying to paint those guys up and get a smooth white, and it was terrible. Like, there was just not a thin coat inside. But it got me into what would end up being one of my best and biggest hobbies, and eventually my small business, which, yeah, little did I know. But yeah, I'm super keen to start on that. I'll be doing a massive series when it comes to painting all of that and building it. We're going to be rebasing it for the new old world. I'm not really caring much for the old base sizes and everything. I'm probably just going to go with the new ones. So if I wanted to, I could use them. And they stack a little bit nicer, especially the Warriors of Chaos on 30 mil square bases. So yes, super keen for that. I basically have my entire childhood army, because I was a broke mother trucker. I only bought infantry and that kind of stuff. Never really any big models. Except maybe, I think it was like a Slaughter Brute and a couple of Chaos Chariots. But for the most part, it was just chaff, and that was all it was. And I had the dodgiest movement trays, but I will be going for a deep dive in not the unboxing video that I post next week, but most likely the sort of background / getting started video, because I'm super excited to share that journey along with you guys. I think that'll be pretty fun. On to the next piece. We have a brand new Kroot Shaper. So we did cover the majority of the Kroot releases last week, but Games Workshop have teased us with yet another Kroot model. And I gotta admit, I don't mind it. It's not really jumping off the page for me. More or less just looks like a generic Kroot. with a couple of little extra bits and bobs. And that tiny little leathery gimp mask, which, I mean, each to their own. Some Kroot just like whips and chains more than others. So yeah, he's pretty cool. Maybe, probably won't end up painting him, but definitely, yeah, definitely something cool. One thing that I am actually really excited for is the new Horus Heresy model that Games Workshop just dropped. Endred punches the heads off World Eaters in the battle for Beta Garmin. For those who don't know, I was also part of that. I didn't know that the World Eaters had kind of an offshoot, which were called a Riven Hound, and he was one of the only ones that didn't end up getting the Butcher's Nails, which, for those who don't know, essentially turned the entire World Eaters into the Legion that they are now, and the blood crazy thing. I'm pretty sure it was like the promise of more power. You just need to use these nails, and turned everyone just absolutely batshit insane. So that's fun. Overall, the model's pretty cool. It's a Forge World resin model, so I'm kind of umming and ahhing on it. I do think it's really cool to see them sculpting all the ceramite armor. I think it's not ceramite, but whatever the underskeleton was in the 30k universe. Pretty cool model. He's got a dynamic pose. He's got the cool little gun, and just some really neat motifs. So I might just end up buying him because I'm a big Chaos player. I play Khorne in 40k, but I wouldn't mind taking a bit of a soiree into the World Eaters because, yeah, he's just an overall cool model. So you might see him very later in the future on the channel, so keep your eyes peeled for that. In other releases, we have the reinforcements that are arriving from Leviathan, which about damn time, Games Workshop. I don't know how long it's been since Leviathan launched, but these models have been absent from the Games Workshop web store for so long, and I'm surprised it took them this long to bring them out. So maybe there was some production issues or unforeseen circumstances. But we have, in order of them on the thingy, we have the Space Marine Captain in Terminator armor, which I don't really know if I need another Space Marine Captain in Terminator armor. Like, the number of characters that I have far outweighs the amount of infantry that I should have for my army. Don't ask me how this imbalance happened, but it just did. Next up, we have the Heroes of the Chapter, and they're doing the usual shenanigans and having it so that we have to buy quite a few models to get the ones that we want. Unfortunately, you can't buy this. Is it the Stoneguard vets by themselves? The new Primaris ones, which is unfortunate. You still have to buy the, I think it's the Apothecary Biologist with it, which I'm not a massive fan of, because if you buy that, then you're just going to have another character, and like if you wanted 3 squads of them, you're going to have 3 of that character, and unless you really want to convert them up, it seems like a bit of a pain. So not a massive fan of that, but obviously they've done it for a reason. We do also have the Ballistus Dreadnought, which, so excited to grab my hands on another one of those and see what the full kit is like. I think it'd be really cool to convert it up with like a plasma incinerator on it. I did actually look at the weapon options for it, which I definitely should have. Really hoping that we can have a couple of different weapons and things on it and really make it shine on the battlefield. Nothing too crazy. We have the Space Marine Inferno Squad, which they're just intercessors with flaming weapons. As you know, Games Workshop aren't having the intercessors, just like the old tactical squads, you know, giving them the ability to kind of have multiple different weapons. They're instead making us buy individual squads of things, which I thought was cool for the Hellblasters, but after the first few, I'm kind of just like, can we just customize our guys? In other releases, we do also have the Scout Squad and the Blades of Cain, which are finally releasing for Kill Team as individual box sets. It's cool to see the Scouts coming back. I probably should buy some. I was a massive fan of the old Scouts. I have a bunch of the plastic ones, which I'll absolutely adore and love, and they're such a joy to paint. So I might end up just grabbing a box of these guys just to say I own them and painting them up at my own time. We do also have Imperialis reinforcements, which I'm excited to see the price of these, because depending on the price, I might end up biting the bullet and buying a couple of them, because I absolutely love the tiny Contemptor Dreadnoughts specifically. Something about them really just tickles my fancy. Now, in order of importance, we have the Astartes support, which just an absolute overall, just fantastic looking reinforcements. They've got a little bit of everything. You know, you got like your contemptors, your dreads and everything. And from the looks of it, if it was like, I say $80 or something like that, like I could imagine that being really, really good value. That's an AUD, by the way, but I'm not sure they'd price them so cheaply. I have a feeling it's most likely going to be like maybe 100, 125 off the top of my head. So I'm kind of keen to see the prices for those guys. We do also excitedly have the Solar Auxilia support, which again has a good variety of models, and not a massive fan of the Solar Auxilia. I think Auxilia, I'm pretty sure. Auxilia? I don't know. I might be getting that wrong. They are cool models, but not quite tickling my fancy. There is also the Malkador and Infernus tanks, which are obviously for the Solar Auxilia and fill out their ranks nicely. But one thing that I'm pretty excited for is the Spartan Assault tanks, which for Horus Heresy tanks really tickle my fancy. I don't know what it is, whether or not it's like the more geometric, but kind of old school World War II feel to them. But just for some reason, they really tickle my fancy, and I want them. I love Spartan tanks, especially the big one with like the plasma annihilator cannon on it. Yeah, just absolutely love those models, and I really want to pay one up. So yeah, super, super excited for that. And the fact that we're getting tiny Spartan Assault tanks, I absolutely adore that. I think that's really, really cool. Now that is everything for the headlines for this week. A bunch of exciting new releases. I did have a note about the Mekka mini release, but I can't find the original post that I was going to link in this. So unfortunately, I have to leave that one out. But go check out Mekka minis. Long story short, they make a bunch of really, really cool orc models. And yeah, check them out. You might like them. They're more pirate themed. And yeah, not quite the traditional orc. So give them a look out and let me know what you guys think. On to this week's hobby hero, and I want to give a massive shout out to my good friend SlyGaile. They are an absolute inspiration when it comes to hobbying, and I have been watching them start up their Death Guard army over the past few weeks. I'll get in contact with them before I post this video and see if that I can include some of the photos of their models in this video. But they have genuinely inspired me to sort of try a few new things and attempt a couple more, let's say, strenuous projects, and sort of take more time to enjoy the little details, because they've been talking me through like their process and everything, and he's sent me a bunch of photos of his Death Guard, and the way that he paints them is just really, really unique, and I love the overall look that he's going for. They really channel that nergly kind of grungy look, and super, I'm pretty sure like he's basically painted up an entire army in roughly about like, I want to say like a good 3-4 weeks, and yeah, I'd have to check in and see how they're going with that, because yeah, he's just absolutely slamming his hobby goals, and being sort of coming back into the hobby after a few years can be very daunting, but he has welcomed it with open arms, and yeah, I just want to give a huge shout out to him for this week, because definitely inspired me to try a few new projects and go for bigger and better things, and I'm super, super keen to try out his Death Guard armor recipe. I think it's a lot different to mine, and it'll be cool to see how it turns out. But that is all for this week's video. I have a bit less than I did last week. I'm hoping that by next week we'll be able to sort of set out the schedule a little bit nicer and have things a bit more set out better. So ladies and gentlemen, if you did indeed enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like on it. I'm going to be doing these videos every single week, so keep an eye out for them. And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, because 97% of you guys are not subscribed, and I would love to see some beautiful new faces around here. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, happy hobbying. I'll see you later. Bye.